I hope any veteran out there, any regular person, never endure what I've endured, where you make it out and your loved one is still in the place. Or families. Like son, daughter, and husband. You heard the fire, so you were able to get out. You tried to get them out, but it didn't work. I don't never want to experience this at all. And my husband, he was well loved. Next thing I know, the smoke had consumed. It was, black. And I had to run out of there to the best of my ability. I barely made it out myself. I ended up getting burned on the forehead and this arm here. I said, if I had to try to really, stay there and try to get him out of there, neither one of us, I wouldn't be here today to talk about this at all. And I didn't even know that I had gotten burned. It's gonna take me probably a lifetime to even let this smooth out, because it's like still fresh in my brain, like it just happened yesterday. So I don't wish it on no one.
So if you could just say your name, I understand you're a veteran. Where would you serve?
We were both veterans, my husband and I. My name is Barbara J. Lewis McCoy, McCoy. My husband and I, we were both veterans in the United States Army. He was a Vietnam veteran. I was, I went in from 76 to 86. He went in during the Vietnam era, and he got out a little bit after me in the 90s, I believe.
And when did you meet?
We met overseas in Germany in 1983 or something like that. We knew each other for 2 years. We lived with each other for 2 years in Germany.
And then you guys came back to the States together?
He left and went to a place in Virginia for training. Then he went on to Fort Campbell, Kentucky. I left there and I ended up going to Fort Truck, Arizona for another additional training for another job. And then I ended up going to Fort Campbell, and we were together again.
And then how did you guys get to Los Angeles, right? I understand that.
We were both, since my family's here, he wanted to come to California instead of me going to New York, where his family was. He didn't want to go to New York. And I asked him why. He said it's just too crowded. He said, I just want something different.
So you guys lived in a home here in Los Angeles?
Way before that home, we ended up staying with my sister. We had a daughter, our daughter was murdered, so that was a hard thing for the both of us, because I had to go get him from work and let him know. And that happened in 2011.
Sorry to hear.
So it's like I lost them both.
If we could explain, so what happened on November 28th of
2022?
Yeah.
He was asleep, and I, woke up to this, this funny sound. I went and looked up and I, jumped, and I saw flames up to here. And I thought first, you know how when you're asleep and you wake up, you say, am I seeing things or am I, imagining this? And then, that was not my imagination. I got up and, asked my neighbor to call 911. She did. After that, I tried to go back in there and, wake my husband up. He, I called his name. He went, Then he said, next thing I know, the smoke had consumed. It was, black. And I had to run out of there to the best of my ability. I barely made it out myself. I ended up getting burned on the forehead and this arm here. I said, if I had to try to really, stay there and try to get him out of there, neither one of us, I wouldn't be here today to talk about this at all. And I didn't even know that I had gotten burned at all. I was too busy, trying to get help and then trying to go back and get him out, but it didn't work.
I'm so sorry to hear it. You went from there to the hospital?
They took me first. The ambulance came and they took me first, and they wouldn't let me stay around to see them take him out, take him away. And the whole time that, a lot of things were going through my head, and I said, I don't have a place to stay. I lost my husband. That was the biggest thing. Lost all our belongings, important papers that we needed. It was just very traumatic for me. They took me on, from Harbor UCLA, then on to the burn center. They just took his body on to the coroner's office. And I stayed in the hospital for 6 days. 6 whole days. My niece had called me. I have one niece is in the military and one that's not. The one that was in the military, she came down to see me because she was very, very concerned. The one that wasn't in the military, she came and picked me up. And she told me, she said, Auntie, don't worry. She said, I know I'm telling you not to worry. She said, but we're here for you to the best of our ability. And the whole time I was, sitting there and thinking, I was saying to myself, I have nothing to go back to. I don't even have a husband anymore. It hurt real bad. It hurt real bad. I said, my daughter's gone. My husband's gone. Now it's just me. Luckily, I have family members, so my sister, she called me. Like I said, both nieces, they, constantly checked. I had family members that constantly checked in on me because they were concerned. They said, Auntie, we're here for you, whatever you need. I told them, I said, look, at one point in time, I'm going to have to stand on my own 2 feet and get up and face the fact that I lost my husband and all our belongings. I said, I really, really thank you guys for your help. I said, no, we really loved Uncle Steve. we really loved Uncle Steve, so we're not gonna just sit up there and just say, well, we're concerned about you. They said no, they miss him too because they knew how my husband was. He was like a character, a very cheerful person, keep laughing all the time, joking and things. He used to work for the city, LAX. He did janitorial, and he worked there for like 17 years plus. And he just say, you know what? I'd just rather be a homebody now. I don't want to be there until something happened bad. So that's about it.
What you've experienced is truly unimaginable, and
I used to think, to myself, I guess, children that lose their parents, like your mom passed away or your dad passed away, that's one thing. But when you are married and you lose someone, that's another thing. It's two different feelings. I didn't realize that until I thought about it. I said, I hope, as long as I live, no one go through what I've went through at all.
And since that night, what I understand, you've lost everything from every photograph. All you had was the clothes on your back.
I had a phone that had several pictures in it, so I lost over probably 600 to 1,000 photos of different events, grandkids, my husband, myself, events that we've gone through and to.
So since this, where did you go to try to get housing?
I don't know, for the reason of COVID being mentioned in that incident. And I was stunned. I went like, okay, COVID's sort of down now. Why are you guys saying, there's no room in such and such on this installation? I said, that don't sound right.
And room in what installation? That was the tiny home during the hospital or somewhere else?
On the hospital grounds for the Fisher home or whatever homes they offered. And I went like, I don't know, to me it just didn't sound right. Okay, Salvation Army have tried to help me. They placed me in at extended stay first. They said, Miss Lewis, we know you've been through a traumatic tragedy, so this is not the best accommodations. We understand this, but we're putting it where you don't be out on the streets. And I told them I understood that, and I told them thank you. When I first went there, just like I do here, I'm the type of person, I don't mind sleeping in the dark, but I can't do it. I leave the TV on where, low where it's talking.
Mm-hmm.
But, like I said, I have friends that constantly check on me because they say, look, we're checking on you, Barbara, because we don't want you to think that no one cares.
Well, they're right. That's for sure.
We know you've been through a traumatic incident, and we know Steve isn't coming back. Steve isn't coming back. We don't want you to feel like, oh, nobody cares. I'm all alone. And I told my family, I said, thank you. We finally laid him to rest. I have his flag, which, you want me to take it out and lay it out here?
If you want.
Sure, I'll do that. Only reason why I kept it up because I gotta go get a pack to keep it in. I just don't want dust or anything to get on it. They gave me his flag. He got full honors for burial.
I guess to touch on what's happened since or where we're at today, we're at a Motel 6 in Bellflower.
Okay, yes, we're at a Motel 6. I wish we were at extended stay. It was much better and nicer. So something happened over there. It wasn't because of me, but they said all vets had to clear out. They wanted them out.
At the extended stay you were at?
Yeah, and they said, and I was asking the person that had me placed here, could I go to another extended stay? Excuse me.
No, you're good.
She said no vet can. I went, wow. She said they had like a incident at the one that I was at, and that caused it to just cancel all of the extended stays out for all of us. So we had to go, find somewhere else. And I had a choice to go to Gardena here, and I said, I'll take care.
And how many days left do you have here?
Well, I had to, down to until March 13th.
So you have here till March 13th. What is the plan or how?
Okay, what I'm doing now, since my husband's laid to rest, some of the stress is lifted off of me. I am trying to get paperwork together so I can at least find a place to stay.
What is there anything you'd want the public to know about what you've gone through?
Yes. What I would tell the public, if you have cell phones, make sure you keep them off your bed. Don't put them on a chair that has fabric on it, because I found out that I was told that the fire was caused by my phone.
Were you using just the normal charger of the phone?
Yeah, they said it was a battery.
Of the phone?
Yeah. Every now and then these phones will like heat up a little bit and get a little bit too hot. But I guess when you lay against certain fabrics, it's just like,
and they're holding you responsible.
No,
they're not.
No,
okay.
Thank goodness. Because when I kept thinking that I was going to get accused of my husband's death, and they said no. It was a phone that did that.
So is there a company or anyone taking responsibility in that regard?
Well,
or have you looked into that, or maybe not yet, or thought about it?
At this time, I'm not dealing with that. I'm just, trying to get by on a daily basis. And then I'll probably go back to that. But for now, I'm trying to survive.
Yeah, right now you're trying to see where you go from this Motel 6 in 8 days, right?
Yes.
I understand. The intention to come here and share what you've gone through is to let the public know, what you've experienced.
I hope any veteran out there, any regular person, never endure what I've endured, where you make it out and your loved one is still in the place. Or families. Like son, daughter, and husband. You heard the fire, so you were able to get out. You tried to get them out, but it didn't work. I don't never want to experience this at all. And my husband, he was well loved. He was well loved, because when I called my sister and told me, it shocked her, it shocked my brother, it shocked my nieces, nephews, grandkids. They asked me what happened. I said, I'll talk about it later, just let me get situated to the best of my ability.
Is there anything you're doing to help get by in this just unimaginably tough time?
Yeah, I have constantly talked to family members.
Yeah.
Constantly. Like I said, it's a difference when somebody just passed away and you're still alive than when somebody's body, burn up in a fire. It's a difference between those deaths to me.
Is there anything else you'd want to share about Steve, and any story, any happy memory or positive or funny or
funny
moment?
Memories?
Yeah.
He was a jokester. He would keep you laughing. He called his grandkids constantly because he wanted to, talk to them and ask them, hey, what's going on? How's your grades in school? Be good to people in the world. Call and check on your grandmother from time to time. I work at nights. That's when he was working. He said, call me if you need anything. But he was, he loved his grandkids. One girl, one boy. And that was from my daughter. So, the girl's name is Kimora. And the young boy's name is Keyshawn. So they're like 11 months apart.
We're gonna share this. I know that your niece made a GoFundMe. We're gonna share that, and we're gonna see if we can rally any public support to try to create some stability and get out of this temporary Motel 6 kind of back and forth and into something stable.
Yeah. It's gonna take me probably a lifetime to even let this smooth out, because it's like still fresh in my brain, like it just happened yesterday. So I don't wish it on no one. In a fire, person come out. I've seen people get burned real bad and they just barely make it out themselves, and it's just nobody there for them. You don't know your neighbors. So, nope. And as far as military families, they need to have where if something happened, such as a fire or a storm where their place is destroyed, just say the husband is separated from the wife, or where one of the adults don't survive and there are no kids involved, or there are kids involved, they need to even make it where he can be placed as a vet. Not just his family, but him also. It should never be one-sided. Oh, it's just a female. No, both of them. And especially veterans. I look at it like this. If I gave you 10 years of my time, hey, there ought to be something in the pot for me. Or for him. If he's done 18 years plus a Vietnam veteran. Instead of the word no. I'm sorry. We can't help you. That is so unfair.